What's up guys, Kartaka here, and today I'm here with another Digimon deck profile. Today we'll be going over the Taomon Loop deck from BT19. Now this deck is one of the top decks in the meta right now, just because it is a super strong deck that just helps you fill up a board in one turn, and then you can kill your opponent on the next turn if they can't respond to it. So it is a really strong deck, but without further ado, let's get right into deck profile. We'll go over the combos a bit later, just because this deck functions a little bit different from a regular Digimon card game deck. So for the Digitamers, we're running 4 of the Taomon from BT17. So this one's ability is once per turn, when one of your Digimon is played from the evolution sources, you can draw one. So mainly we're using this because it's blue so that you can have access to the Kaiser Nail, and you are going to be playing Digimon from your sources with the Kaiser Nail as well as the Kazuhamon. So you'll be able to get the draw one to dig through your deck a little bit faster. If you want to run the yellow egg so that you can go into your Renamons properly, you can, but this here is just to have easy access to the Kaiser Nail, even if you don't Digivolve on top of into the Renamon. So next we are going to be running 4 of the Renamon from BT17. So Renamon's ability is on play. You can look at the top 3 cards of your deck and grab a Cubimon, Taomon, or Sakuyamon named card, as well as a Rika or a option card with 2 or more cost from amongst them to add to your hand. So you can add both a Renamon line card, that's not Renamon, and you can add a Rika or option. So you can potentially grab 2 cards, which is really good. And it being able to grab cards, option cards that aren't just plugins, it just makes it really good. So we're running 4 of those Renamons. This is one of the main starters you want to start off with. There's a few cards that you can open with. This is one of them. Next, for the other level 3s, we're running 4 of the Renamon from EX4. This one's on play. You can, until the end of everyone's turn, 2 of your opponent's Digimon with 4,000 DP cannot, 4,000 or less DP cannot attack. Not super important. What is important is that she is a blue and yellow Digimon, so you can have access to Kaiser Nail even if you Digivolve on top of the egg, and that's main use for it. And actually for my build, we're not running any level 4s. I just feel like they're not too useful. I was running the new Renamon, the new Cubimon from BT19 before, but after playing games with it, I decided to cut it out just because it doesn't come in too handy. I'd rather have more options or more higher level cards in my hand to Digivolve into, so I cut those out. But for the most part, this is all you need for your lower level, because most of the time you'll be hard casting your Taomon Ace. So Taomon Ace's ability is on play. You can, if it's your turn, you can use a single colored option with 5 cost or less from your hand with a opponent's cost. And then if it's your opponent's turn, you can give one opponent's Digimon -1 security check, and then that Digimon cannot activate its evolution effects, which doesn't happen in this deck because we're not running the level 4. But most of the time you don't need it anyway, because you'll be able to just use your options from hand and just loop it out and go into your level 6s for free. So next we are running Kazuhamon from EX4. This card is super important in the deck. So Kazuhamon's ability is, first of all, it's treated as a Sakuyamon, and then on evolution, Sakuyamon in its name, not exactly Sakuyamon. On evolution, you can use a option, 5 cost or less option card from your hand with a opponent's cost, and then on your turn, when you use an option card with 2 cost or more, you can play a Taomon or a yellow or blue level 4 or lower Digimon from this card's source with opponent's cost. So of course, when using this effect, you will be playing the Taomon back out so that I can use Taomon's on play ability again. So running 4 of those. So this is like a built-in Kaiser Nail, which is why I'm running 4 of these. Next, we're running 3 of the Sakuyamon from BT19. So this is the new Sakuyamon, very strong. On evolution, you can draw 2, which helps you dig through your deck super fast and helps you grab cards that you are looking for. And then you can use a single color option card with 5 costs or less from your hand without paying its cost. And then once per turn, whenever you use an option card, you can play a Kuda Kitsune token. So this is the token I wrote up. It has it's yellow, 6,000 DP, and it has blocker, which does come in really handy against decks that can swingly big, like Ancient Greymon and stuff. So yeah, we're running that. So we're running 7 of the level 6s, and then for level 7s we're actually running 3 of the Shine Greymon Rune Mode. Rune Mode is here to hinder opponent when you don't have 6 attacks in one turn. You can use this to stall a little bit just to soften up your opponent's board, and then you can also recover 1, which is pretty good as well. So the ability is on attack, on evolution, and on deletion. All your opponent's Digimon gets minus 5,000 DP until the end of its turn, and then at the end of attack, delete this Digimon, and then delete one of your opponent's Digimon, and then you can recover 1. And then if you have a Tamer in play, you can hatch an egg into an empty space. So it just works really well as a deck, and you have ways to Digivolve into this using your options. We'll talk about that later as well. And then we're also running 1 of the Shine Greymon Burst Mode, Ace. So this one is on play and on evolution. You can play a Tamer from your hand without paying its cost, and then for every one of your Tamers, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 5,000 every turn until the end of the turn. And then on attack, you can suspend 2 of your yellow Tamers to give this Digimon +1 security check for every Tamer suspended. So you'll be using this to mainly suspend your TKs. So it's pretty good. You also be on your level 6 slot on your opponent's turn. So if they attack, you still have an option to go into the burst mode to just give them a -5, which is pretty nice. Or 15 if you have 3 on the top board. So you can pop the Digimon. All right, next for the Tamers, as you can see, we're not running a lot of Digimon in this deck for very good reason. Running 4 Rikas. Rika is also a opener for the deck. So on play, you can look at the top 3 cards of your deck, and then you can grab a Renamon, Cubimon, Taomon, or Sakuyamon, and then you can also grab a option with plugin in its name, and then you put the rest of the bottom deck. So Rika is not as good as Renamon because you cannot grab any option card. You can only grab the plugin. But the good thing about Rika is you can grab Renamons. So if you are missing level 3s or you need to continue your search, you can just grab one of these. So pretty good. And then we're also running 3 of the TKs. TK is here. He's also like a pseudo opener because if you hardcast it, you can still look at your security, which is 5 cards if you're on the first turn, which is actually quite a good search. But keep in mind, you can only recover if you grab a yellow card. So if you grab like a Kaiser Nail or something, or a white card, or a super evolution plugin, you won't be able to recover. So, but we're still running TKs because I feel like he's like the better setter for this deck. And then on to the option cards. So first up, we are running 4 of the Super Evolution plugin S. So this is one of the cards that you will need when you're using your Taomon, so that you can Digivolve into your Sakuyamons. So the plugin lets you evolve into a Digivolution cost that's 3 or less. So you can only go into your Kazuhamon and your Sakuyamon. You cannot use this to go into your Rune mode or burst mode. So keep that in mind. And you also draw 1, so that will also help you get some cards if you need it. We're also running 4 of the Yellow Scramble. Yellow Scramble lets you Digivolve one of your yellow Digimon into a yellow card in your hand with the cost reduced by 3. So you can use this to go into your Rune modes. And then, the second ability is just the same. So yeah, these are the main cards you're going to be using to Digivolve. If you use this with your Taomon, you'll still be able to go into it for free, but most of the time you want to save these for going into Rune mode. If you have like both of these in your hand, you're going to use this first. Because first off, you get to draw, so you can potentially draw into another combo piece. And you also can't use this to go into the Rune mode, so keeping this in your hand for later is not as good. You want to use the scrambles to go into Rune mode. Next, if you don't have the Rune mode in hand, you can always use blue card. We're running 3 blue cards. Blue card is a card that not all decks run just because it's kind of a gamble, but I quite like the blue card. Blue card's ability is, if you use this card, you can look at the top 5 cards of your deck and then choose one of your Digimon, and it can Digivolve into a non-white Digimon for free, and then you put the rest of the bottom of the deck. So if you have a bunch of Digimon on the board and you don't hit into your root mode, if you have Taomon and you hit into a Sakuyamon, you can still Digivolve that. So it's not too bad, but it is a little bit of a gamble. So this is mainly used when you don't want to, when you don't have the root mode in hand and you think, and you can feel it, you can feel it coming soon. But yeah. If you don't want to run the blue cards, you can definitely slot in some other cards instead. Some people run removal cards like Megalo Spark or Spiral's Masquerade, which are okay as well. So I think it's fine. So running 3 of these. This is just a more fun card for me, I guess. It's always fun to gamble and see if you hit into the piece that you need. So. Or you can run it in different ratios. You can not be like me and not run 3. You can run like 2 or 1 if you think it's too much. So, yeah. All right. Next, let's move on to the other option cards. We're running 2 of the yellow training. So this helps you search for pieces. And if you need Rika, you can also use this to search for Rika as well. But since most of the time you will be using the Taomon to Digivolve, this isn't too useful, but if you don't have an option to help you Digivolve into your card, you can use this to do this. For example, if you have a Taomon on the board already from last turn and you want to Digivolve it, you can use this to Digivolve that Taomon into a Sakuyamon or a Kazuhamon. And then we're also running 4 Memory Boost. Memory Boost is super good in this deck. This is one of these are all, this and your training are all starters that you can use to just dig in your combo pieces. You want to grab your Taomon Ace as soon as possible, because if you don't have it or you don't see it, you're in a bit of a pickle. But you usually see it. But if you don't open it with it, you'll probably see it by turn 2. If you're playing your searchers, and it's very rare that you will not open with at least one searcher, since we're running so many. Another card actually you can run instead of the blue card is actually Amethyst Training, because it is a different name training card. Amethyst Memory Boost, because you also use that to grab your pieces, and it does search 1 less. And this deck does run all yellow, so you ideally want to use the yellow Memory Boost. But that's also a good alternative to run if you want to run more consistent boosters. And last but not least, we're running Kaiser Nail. Kaiser Nail at 3 might be a bit much for people, but I quite like it at 3, just because I actually go into the Sakuyamon quite a bit, and when I go into Sakuyamon, since she doesn't have an inherit Kaiser Nail, you're gonna have to use Kaiser Nail to put out the Taomon, and the Kaiser Nail is just perfect for that. So that is my build, but there's lots of ways to build this deck. There's a lot of people doing other creative things. And there's actually quite a lot of flex slots in this deck, just because this deck is so irregular that the option cards that you run are pretty flexible. So if you don't like Kaiser Nails at 3, you can swap out for other removal or other consistency boosters. If you don't like blue card, you can run other stuff as well. It's all up to personal preference. So let's go on to the combo and just show you guys how it works. Alright, so the combo is very simple. Assuming on the first turn you had one of these, you just play one of them, or let's just say we played a Rika for the times for this demonstration. So you played the Rika, and then now it's your turn. Your opponent does your thing. Now, if you have the Taomon in your hand now, you can just hard cast it. Use Taomon on playability. You can use a option card for free. You're going to use the plug-in S, or if you can't continue, you can use the yellow scramble instead as well. But if you use the plug-in S, let's just say we drew into this card. It's rune mode, that's fine. And then since you use the plug-in S, you can now Digivolve into your Kazuhamon. Taomon lets you use another option card for free. So let's just say we use a scramble. Or not a scramble, it's the yellow training. This is gone. Yellow training, have search, grab something, we gotta grab a burst mode. It's fine. And then since you use an option card, you can use the Taomon ability, pull it out. Uses the Taomon came out, now you can use another card. Let's just say you have the yellow scramble now. You're on a Super Plug-in S. You use the scramble. Scramble lets you Digivolve into the Sakuyaman. Sakuyaman lets you draw 2. Oh, you drew Kaiser Nail and your Yellow Mary Boost. It's fine. Or you also have to draw for your evolution as well. So you're drawing 3 when you Digivolve into the Sakuyamon, which is actually really, really good. So, whoop, drew this for your draw. Then you can use the option card with the Sakuyamon. Kaiser Nail. Kaiser Nail lets you pull out the Taomon back out. Taomon lets you continue your thing. And since you play an option card, now you get a token as well. So now you have 4 things on the board. And then, if you have the yellow card, you can play the blue card if you want and go into potentially a room mode. Or if you have a training, you can, or a memory boost, you can play it as well, and then just search for more pieces. For example, you search into this, and then you can, on your next turn, so your turn is, as soon as your turn's over, this is your board. Not a bad board, you just drew into your burst mode, and you have some other stuff in your hand. So on your next turn, what you can do is you can just use this, Digivolve into this one, and then if you have another option card, you can play it. So if you have another Rain Boost, play your Rain Boost. You have blue card, you can play blue card as well. You use blue card and you don't hit into a target that you need. It's a whiff, but you still activate a card, so you can use this. Pull it back out with the Taomon's ability, and then Taomon lets you use another option card, so you can use this. And then you can go back into a Sakuyamon if you want. So basically all you do is just keep looping the combo until you have like a board that you have enough Digimon to kill your opponent with. And use this to slow down your opponent. It also helps controlling your opponent's board, which is pretty good. So yeah, basically all you do is just keep looping the combo where you pull out the Taomon. That's what it's called, Taomon loop. It's not called Sakuyamon loop because Taomon is the most important card of the deck. If you have these, obviously this is pretty good. If you have this and Kaiser Nail, it does the same thing, but you need 2 cards instead of 1. Of course, you also need a lot of options in your hand, which is why we're running so many options, because you need to use an option to pull out the card. So overall, the deck is really fun to play. I don't think it's too fun to play against an opponent. My friend wasn't really having that much fun playing against it, but I think he said the deck is fine except for the blockers that the Sakuyamon generates. I guess it does matter against certain matchups. If you're playing against decks that don't really do one big swing, I think going into the Kazuyamon is a bit easier, so you don't have to rely on Kaiser Nail. But if you do spawn a token with a blocker, that's an extra body on the board, which is really good as well. So yeah, but that's pretty much it for this deck profile, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you have any questions. But yeah, this is Karataku. And I forgot to mention, you also have if you have a Renamon in raising area, you also push this out, so you have an extra attack with this one. So ideally, you just need to spawn 5 bodies on the board, and then if you have Renamon in raising, you can just push it out next turn for 6 attacks, which is usually enough to kill your opponent. Keep in mind though, if you are going for game, make sure to attack with the Taomon last, in case it does die in battle against security. She might die and then overflow back to your opponent's turn, which might be pretty bad. So a lot of times you'll be attacking with this last, so you don't run into that problem. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below. And if you want to support the channel, use the affiliate links to buy stuff. That will help me out a lot. But this is Karanaku, and I'll see you guys next time.